Hello, and thanks for joining us. I'm Andy Sterniolo from Veeam, and today we're going to be talking about what we're seeing from both sides, how organizations are thinking about hypervisors and hybrid environments, and how Microsoft and Veeam's partnership helps keeps things simple as they plan what's next. Demetrius, before we dive in, I'll let you introduce yourself and share a little bit about your role at Microsoft.
Yeah, thanks, Andy, for having me. And I am on the Azure Storage product marketing team responsible for all the BCDR, our business continuity and disaster recovery partnerships and relationships. And I have over 25 years of experience and super excited to be here with you today.
Great, great. Well, today we're going to be doing some questions specifically for our partners. So I say let's just jump right into it. So, question number one: what are partners hearing from customers about the change in the industry?
So partners are on the front lines of the VMware transition. And they're hearing three things again and again. And so, first is that customers are under pressure from new licensing models and bundled subscriptions. Second, there's less clarity around roadmap and also long term support as consolidation continues. And third, customers are also asking a very direct question. Is now the time to diversify our virtualization strategy? And so for partners, that uncertainty is definitely a challenge, but it's also a massive opportunity. It's an opportunity to step in as strategic advisors, and that's not just as implementers, but that's also as that partner to help partners provide the solutions that we need for our greater customers.
Yeah, that matches exactly what we're hearing from our partners. You know, you mentioned clarity, and customers are, we're hearing from our partners that customers are really looking for that clarity, right? We see that the partners are even stepping into that advisory role of like guiding them down the path of what's next and really amping up on the amount of assessments and planning. And it's all about really that stable protection is going to be able to help the partners guide customers where they go next. So yeah, lots of stuff going on in the industry right now for sure, and that kind of that's why partners are emphasizing choice. We kind of go into the second question here around choice and flexibility. It's why does avoiding lock-in resonate with partners?
Yeah, that's a really, really great question there. So lock-in hits partners from two different directions. And so the first is that it limits what they can recommend to customers, and it also concentrates their own business risk in a single vendor. And when licensing changes, when partner programs shift, and when support models move, partners are the ones left explaining all of that to the customer. And so avoiding lock-in, it's not a slogan. It's, for partners, it's a survival strategy, right? And if you look at Microsoft and Veeam, the story together, that's going to resonate because it literally restores freedom. So VMware, Hyper-V, Azure Local, AVS, Azure Native, partners can design what's right, not just what's available.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you mentioned about it's a survival game, and it's partners nowadays have to support many platforms, and it's getting to a point where they have to make sure that they're able to provide that support well. And it's like that. It's a need for freedom and to recommend the best fit for the customer. But it really also comes down to having that flexibility to modernize at the customer at the pace that they're going and be able to provide the options to the customer. So all at the same time while trying to like avoid redesigning everything, right? You know, so it's a lot to consider. And that really becomes even clearer when it comes to hybrid workloads. Kind of like segue into our next question is what makes it easier for partners to support diverse workloads?
So what I see is that partners want scale, and they want scale without that chaos. And together, Azure and Veeam is going to give them exactly that. And if you look at Azure Arc, that's going to provide that unified management and policy. Azure Storage and Azure Local is going to offer secure, resilient landing zones, and Veeam is going to deliver that consistent backup and recovery across VMware, Hyper-V, even physical cloud, and also Kubernetes as well. And so partners can standardize on one resilience architecture. And that's even while customer environments continuously change. So it's really a key and solid thing that doesn't shift as much as other things outside of the partnership here.
Yeah, consistency. That's what it really matters, is that consistent model.
That's right.
Consistency is the differentiator, right? It's like Microsoft's has the platform consistency, and Veeam has the protection consistency. It's all about those predictable workflows, easier to scale the services, lot of things to consider. So from there, let's kind of move into the hypervisor guidance. We mentioned about how to support those diverse workloads, but now we're going to dive a little more into the hypervisor side. So what guidance should partners focus on when customers are evaluating hypervisors?
Yeah, so I coach partners to lead with business outcomes and not vendor outcomes. So that means start by asking, what resilience targets does the customer need? What's their multi-cloud or hybrid cloud strategy? Of course, we want them on Azure. And what are their regulatory and data residency requirements? That also comes up a lot. Then I map those answers all the way back once again, and you've heard this before in this interview here, is that it's AVS, Azure Local, and Azure Native Compute. And so partners who lead with these SKUs, they don't get commoditized, right? So partners who also lead with outcomes, they become indispensable. So it's really more about taking a broader look and a perspective around what's happening, and making a decision to go with a more stable platform, such as what we offer at Microsoft Azure, and also what Veeam offers as well.
Yeah, I think that's an excellent way to frame it. From a Veeam perspective, it's really that operational readiness for us. It's making sure that the partner's skills, the cost, the support model all line up. Wanting to make sure that the cloud alignment is the right direction for the partner to provide to the customer, and it's really that long-term sustainability. So when it comes down to it, Veeam's making sure that protection really stays constant. And yeah, it's I keep saying flexibility, but it's great to have that flexibility for a partner to offer many things to a customer. So and that kind of leads into the next question, which is resilience planning. So how do partners use Microsoft and Veeam together for resilience?
Let's see. So I would say partners can tell a powerful story, and a powerful end-to-end resilience story. And so they can say, well, we'll harden your environment with zero trust, Defender for cloud, and also Azure's secure infrastructure, and Veeam's recovery and backup capabilities. We'll also protect your data with Azure Storage, and some of the other features that we offer, just around immutability, isolated backups on Azure Storage, and we'll also orchestrate clean recovery with Veeam. And that's if the worst happens, and we know that a lot of times the worst is going to happen with ransomware still impacting more than half of organizations, and that's a story that boards are ready to hear, right?
Hmm. Yeah. I think really it's partners they really want to have that clear, repeatable model when it comes to the resilience. It's a clear resilience story of knowing that Microsoft has the security foundation and the infrastructure, and Veeam has the clean recovery and the ability to work really across all the Microsoft platforms. I think that's the key to why the partnership is so strong, is that we support the ability to protect and recover workloads across all of those platforms. So I think that's a great thing to consider for partners. So I just really want to appreciate the time that we took today, Demetrius. I really appreciate the conversation. Thanks for your time. My name's Andy, and if you have any more questions about this discussion today, you can go to veeam.com, get some more information, and have a great day.